Good morning. Welcome to Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, located on occupied ancestral land of the Muskogee Creek Nation. My name is Masha Kloberg, and I will be serving as Service Associate today. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were once too seeking for something larger than ourselves, to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that here, though not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. Whether it's your first time in worship with us or your 100th time, we hope that you'll find here questions that stretch you, people to befriend you, and liberal religious values that challenge you to join us in loving boldly, living justly, and welcoming radically. On behalf of the members of the fellowship, I extend a special welcome to all visitors who are joining us for the first time, and to those of you who still feel like visitors. If you have not already done so, please fill out a digital visitor card by visiting auuf.org/visitor so that we may welcome you. You may also contact our minister, Reverend Chris Rothbauer, at minister@auuf.org with any questions or concerns you may have. Let us move into the service, willing to be authentic with each other and honest within ourselves, and open to connection in all its forms. Fire, and let us share stories. Let me hear your tales of far-off lands, wanderer, and I will tell you of my travels. Share your experience of the holy with me, worshiper, and I will tell you of that which I find divine. Come and stay, lover of leaving, for ours is no caravan of despair, but of hope. We would hear your stories of grief and sorrow as readily as those of joy and laughter. For there is a time and a place for hearing all of the stories of this world. Stories are the breath and word of the Spirit of life that power that name we name love. Come, for our fire is warm and we have seats for all. Come again and yet again. Come speak to me of what fills your heart, what engages your mind, and what resides in your soul. Come, let us worship together. We light this chalice today We light this chalice today in honor of the Unitarian Universalist first principle, to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We recognize that these are not just words to be spoken. Instead, they call us out of our comfort into an ever-deepening commitment, a commitment we make to the rights of all whose inherent worth and dignity are denied, diminished, or destroyed by systems of oppression. And they call us into the practice of looking into our own hearts with courage and honesty. As is our tradition, we also light a candle in solidarity with those families separated at our southern border. This we will begin with joys, and a particular one. The Bastier family lost their pet betta fish of 4 years. Mickey Mouse the fish. Mickey made the move from North Dakota to Alabama 3 years ago. Please keep Evelyn and Margaret in your thoughts as they mourn the loss of our blue swimming friend. We also have a joy that our new fish, Ruth Betta, who is after Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And that is very meaningful. From Susan McAllister, my sister Jen is continuing her fight with pancreatic cancer. We found her last week that the cancer has metastasized and spread to her liver. Keep her, please, and my family in your thoughts as she evaluates treatment options and the next steps. I have a particular joy that remains quite a confusing thing. And it is simply that I have a new cell phone that I get to learn computer ease with. And I will keep on learning and continue. Encouragement to Hannah Lester, formerly one of our child care people, in her deployment to Sacramento. She will be with AmeriCorps, maybe firefighting training, she hopes. If you have any unspoken joys and concerns, we are with you always.
Type them in the chat.
Please type them into chat. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, we may say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us to practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission. To make a donation online via PayPal, please visit auuf.org/donate. If you're writing a check, please make your check payable to AUUF with a note on the memo line with whether it is for the offering or your pledge, and mail it into Post Office Box 669, Auburn, Alabama. The offering will now be gratefully received.
I wish a buck were still silver, back when the country was strong. Back before Elvis, Vietnam War came along. Before the Beatles, yesterday, a man could still work and still would. Is the best of the free life behind us now? Are the good times really over for good? I wish Coke were still cola and a joint, bad place to be. Back before Nixon lied to us all on TV. Before microwave ovens, when a girl could still cook and still would. The best of the free life behind us now. Are the good times really over for good? Are we rolling downhill like a snowball headed for hell?
Right. So how do I?
No kind of chance for the flag or the Liberty Bell. I wish a Ford and a Chevy could still last 10 years like they should. Is the best of the free life behind behind us now. Good times really over for good. Stop rolling downhill like a snowball headed for hell. Stand up for the flag and all ring Liberty Bell. Build a Ford and a Chevy, still last 10 years like the Chevy. Best of free life is still yet to come, and the good times ain't over for good. Be sure to register and vote.
We who are Unitarian Universalists not only affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, we also affirm the inherent wholeness of every being, despite apparent brokenness. No one hearing these words is a stranger to pain or the knowledge that things break or break down, promises, friendship, sobriety, hope, communication. This breaking happens because our human hearts and our very institutions are frail and imperfect. We make mistakes. Life is messy. Brokenness happens. In fact, sometimes the brokenness is immense, and the only grasp, the only power we have over that large and complicated pain looming over us is to bear witness, to tell there is something broken or messy in front of us, and we will not leave or even look away until repair has been done. If love begins with attention, repair takes the form of compassion, bearing witness, speaking out. Repair looks like connection, justice, or even revolution. It looks like after-school tutoring programs, community meals, and holding signs in front of City Hall. And it begins by placing full trust and faith that there is inherent wholeness in every broken situation. Please listen to some of our members' reflections on the theme of we are worthy simply because we exist. Our first reflection is by C.J. Marbut, and the second is from Billy Wellborn.
Good morning. I got a copy of a hymnal here from Camp Hill Universalist Library, and we got our copy in about 1953. The book itself is from 1936. Now, on page 40, there's something that UUs do not like. There's a little statement of faith. It's short, and bear with me. It reads, "We believe in man and the worth of all persons." Obviously, the first principle is indebted to that. This idea that we all have inherent worth and dignity didn't really strike me as that radical of an idea at first. But unfortunately, the last few years have proven that, yes, it is quite a statement. Right now in this country, we have faced so much unrest stemming from police violence and systemic racism that it is obvious that too many people have not got the message that we're all in this together, that we all have inherent worth and dignity. And when we all have inherent worth and dignity, it's impossible to put one person's welfare ahead of another's. We have to work together to create a common good. And Right now, we just have not found the will to do that. It's trying and it's troubling, but slowly we keep going forward together. One of the things that I like about the first principle is that it is one of those ideas, at least as early Universalists saw it, rooted in many of the world's religions. In Christianity, it's the idea that we're made in the image of God. And in Buddhism, we say that we all possess Buddha nature. If you Google humanism and inherent worth and dignity, you'll find that humanist societies have also adopted language almost identical to the UUA principle. What this is saying to me personally is this idea that we have it within ourselves to be happy. We have everything that we need to be enough. We are enough as we are. We don't have to add something. We just have to take away the poverty and the want that we have manufactured as a society. We have to take the boot off the neck and allow human potential to flourish. It's not enough to just affirm the inherent worth and dignity of all people unless we also challenge the systemic racism that keeps those people from flourishing. And I live in Camp Hill, Alabama. My community is 80% African American. We have dealt with poverty far longer than I've been alive. I've seen the effect that it has on the people who suffer from it. Their prospects are still not good. They still struggle. And now I find out within the UUA there is actually a vocal minority that has been very perturbed because we are addressing systemic racism, not just within society, but within our own congregations. But we have to keep going. The truth is, we are all in this. None of us are ahead, none of us are behind. Either all of us go home or none of us do. And we can't afford to abandon anyone. Last of all, because of something as ridiculous as the color of their skin or where their ancestors happen to be from. Thank you.
So, inherent worth and dignity. This was not a concept I was brought up on. I was brought up on the belief in work, hard work, as they say, to a fault. I was taught that you had to work hard your whole life and you always had to be focused on the future. You had to work hard in school so that you could get into a good college. Then you had to work hard at college so you could get a good entry job. You had to work hard at the entry job too in order to get a better paying, more prestigious job. And in doing so, in working hard, one could find their worth and their dignity. But that was the only option that it seemed was presented to me. Which is crazy, especially when you consider I grew up middle class. We didn't have to work hard. We would have been fine just doing nothing. We would have had our needs met. But I had the scarcity mentality so drilled into me. Like, if you do not work hard now, you will fall behind. You will not have enough. And then your life will not have meaning or value or dignity. How are you going to support your wife and kids if you don't study hard in 7th grade, Billy? It's really crazy. So one of the ways this impacted my young adulthood was codependency. I'm still working to shake off the last bits of it. This came into my relationships. Having the belief that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't working hard enough, led me to not consider myself valuable, not consider my own needs important, not even really know what my needs were. But I could recognize needs of other people, and I would be so gung-ho to help them meet their needs. I had several partnerships where my acts of service love language just came out and blossomed and then went way too much to the point where it was unhealthy for both of us. The codependency pattern was, if I give this person what they need and I help them and I affirm their dignity and their worth in having their needs met, then I will have value in their eyes. And then because they value me, they will help me meet my needs. Wouldn't recommend. It's much better to meet your own needs directly and acknowledge that you have that self-worth and dignity. So, yeah, that was an interesting thing. The codependency also showed up in my employment. I've been doing self-employment and contract gigs for quite a number of years now, and I would look at my client and I'd say to myself, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to kill myself for this job, because then I'll have worth and value in their eyes. Then I'll have earned my worth and dignity. The same pattern came about with some of my community groups and my identity. When I came to the UU, when I came to paganism, when I came to the queer community, it was all, oh, these are other people that have value and that recognize themselves as doing good in the world. Again, there's the doing part. So I said, okay, if I identify with them and I do good things with them, then I'll have earned my worth and dignity. Every time I found a new group or a new identity or community, it would give me a little bump. I'd feel good for a while, and then I'd slip right back down into the feeling not good enough, feeling like I wasn't doing enough, and it would perpetuate itself in a vicious cycle. If I don't feel like I'm worthwhile, why would I take care of myself? I'm not worth anything. And a lot of people will talk to me about how they admire me and think I'm a good person, and like sometimes put me on a pedestal even, and like I've struggled for a really long time with not thinking I'm worth anything. So it's normal. It is so normal. If I deal with it and can take steps towards conquering it and moving forward from it, anyone can. We all have inherent worth and dignity. Anything that has taught us that we don't is wrong. And we can unlearn it and learn what's right. And once we each can find that in ourselves, that self-value, then all the other areas of our life will transform too. It's a really good feeling. I have to also say that a big help on this journey recently has been my partner, Megan. I don't feel like I have to do things for them in order to earn their love. They just love me as I am, and I feel the same way about them. Anyway, so it's really helpful to find those people along your journey who you look at them and you think, wow, they can love me. I'm not earning it, they just do. And maybe I can love myself that way and recognize the worth and dignity in me that they see in me. So we all need companions for the journey.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the first commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please let us know of any announcements. You can type them in the chat or speak them. We have a calling in this world. We are called to honor diversity, to respect differences with dignity, and to challenge those who would forbid it. We are people of a wide path. Let us be wide in affection and go our way in peace.
Go forth into the world in peace.